Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, Labor has suffered another horror day on the campaign trail, with one candidate forced to step down and another openly attacking its policies. Fabiano Cangelosi wants Labor to ditch its support of poker machines, labelling them blood money. It came as Clark candidate Ben McGregor stepped down over inappropriate messages he sent 7 years ago.
Forced to bring the past back into the light.
A complaint has been made to the Labor Party by a person in relation to 2 text messages I sent 7 years ago.
A group chat has come back to haunt Labor's Clark candidate. He says the issue came down to one word he used.
At that time I apologised via text and noted that I would not use that word again with her.
Mr McGregor says the person involved was a former colleague and manager who helped on his 2019 federal election campaign. He claims their professional relationship diminished over time and ended last year. The messages resurfaced with a complaint in March, with the Labor leader contacting him this week.
At 4:30 Monday afternoon, I was contacted by Rebecca and informed that I must resign my nomination and step away, or she will make a public statement and disendorse me.
Today he walked away from the campaign, taking a parting shot.
Rebecca has failed in providing leadership here. She has seen an opportunity to rid herself of factional challenge.
Labor has spent recent weeks embroiled in open warfare over the pre-selection of Kingborough Mayor Dean Winter. Rebecca White is adamant her decision on Ben McGregor has nothing to do with factions.
I sat in the living room of a person who shared with me the allegation about their conduct that they had been the recipient of. I couldn't ignore that, and I had to take action.
But Labor's headaches don't end there. Franklin candidate Fabiano Cangelosi says he doesn't support Labor's policies on anti-protest laws or pokies.
My view is that poker machines in Tasmania should be prohibited.
Insisting he's a man of party principles, Labor is sticking with him for now.
The Labor Party has very clear policies on both of the issues that he's spoken out about, and I've made it incredibly clear to him that the Labor policy is very different to his views.
As Labor's campaign goes from bad to worse, Anthony Albanese remains confident in the Tasmanian team.
Rebecca White has acted with strength and has shown she's a strong leader.
But the Premier says it's carnage.
As it stands at the moment, their campaign is in chaos.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
A major cash splash is on the cards for the Northwest Regional and Mersey hospitals if the Liberal Party is re-elected. The party unveiling its 3rd tranche of health policy, while the Greens spruiked community health initiatives. Labor campaigning to help hundreds of young Tasmanians kickstart their working career.
The Northwest Regional Hospital could receive a major facelift. The Liberal Party pledging $60 million over the next decade if elected, with a new mental health precinct.
As we move into recovery from the pandemic, mental health will be absolutely crucial to support our community.
As well as more beds in the hospital, but it looks unlikely it will receive extra staff to man those beds anytime soon.
We'll look to those staffing models in future budgets to understand how we can service those.
The Liberal Party also spruiking more than $8 million to increase treatment capacity for cancer patients in the northwest. The Mersey Community Hospital will also be upgraded with a new ward, kitchen and state-of-the-art equipment. Health policy also dominated the Greens campaign agenda, spruiking services to prevent Tasmanians needing to go to hospital. The $3 million initiative will see an extra 50 allied health workers if elected.
We have an older population and a vast number of chronic conditions that need to be attended to so that they don't get more serious. And that's why we need to have more allied health staff.
Labor leader Rebecca White spending the morning in Georgetown promoting the party's plan to help more Tasmanians into jobs, with a particular focus on young Tasmanians. It will put
480 young people with employment opportunities in the first 2 years, which will make a huge difference. And we also expect that every year our jobs hubs across Tasmania will support 1,000 Tasmanians into work at a time when regional unemployment sits above 7%.
Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmania News.
A South Launceston teenager has been charged after an alleged attack in Invermay last week. Police say a man received a head injury after being allegedly assaulted in Godric Street on March 30. The 18-year-old is facing aggravated assault and firearms charges. He is due to face the Launceston Magistrates Court tonight. Tasmania's East Coast tourism operators are beginning to thrive again, with interstate visitors returning in droves. After being heavily hit by the pandemic, the industry is recovering, with some businesses recruiting more staff to keep up with demand.
Gliding under the hazards, taking tourists into the heart of one of Tasmania's most beautiful national parks. The tour's run by Freycinet Adventures, a company today marking a major milestone.
25 years in any business is a huge milestone, especially a small business, and working within the tourism space comes with its challenges, particularly out in the regional areas of Tasmania.
Celebrating with others in the industry. But this time last year, as Tasmania went into lockdown, there were doubts about whether they would make it through.
In March last year, we had to close our business and send all of our staff home.
Just the unknown of it was the most stressful thing about it. Yeah, light and day compared to last Easter for sure.
After a slow start to the season, tourism has bounced back on the East Coast. The void left by international tourists currently filled by those travelling from interstate.
Once the borders opened, it just came flooding in. We were quite surprised. We were a little unprepared for it, but has been really busy. We can't ask for anything more.
After a busy Easter period, tourism operators are now feeling more confident heading into the quieter winter months, with some forward bookings already filtering through.
And numbers are still looking really strong for the next few months as well, so we're quite optimistic about the winter season, that we're prepared.
Robert Pennicott says direct flights from New Zealand will have a major impact, alongside subsidised travel to the state.
Getting across the moat into Tasmania is always a barrier, and I think the half-price air flights and also the heavily subsidised to zero on the Spirit has been a real game changer for Tassie.
Recruiting more staff ahead of winter for the first time in 21 years. The message from tourism operators around the state:
we're ready for busy business, and I think we're really ready for it to continue.
Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
Australia's Antarctic resupply vessel will dock in Fremantle instead of Hobart after a fire broke out in its engine room. More than 100 expeditioners and crew were on board MPV Everest when the blaze erupted Monday afternoon. No one was injured, but 2 inflatable rubber boats were destroyed. The vessel was 5 days into a 14-day voyage back to Hobart following a 2-month resupply mission to Davis and Mawson stations when the incident occurred. Homeowners in Dunedin say they've been left in the lurch over plans to expand the southern outlet. Residents say they've been told 17 properties could be acquired to add an extra lane. They're demanding more information.
We've been told that that's the engineers' preferred solution to take all of those houses.
This is no way to treat Tasmanian residents. It's no way to treat major infrastructure projects.
The government insists it is consulting with residents. It argues the $35 million project will help fix congestion. The RACT is again calling for Tasmania's highways to be given 10-year action plans. The group explaining its election wish list today, with fixing the state's roads the top priority. There's also concern over tourism traffic.
We are renaming these routes for tourism reasons, the Great Eastern Drive for example, yet frankly we are putting our visitors on roads that in many cases are unsafe.
It also wants better support for local councils, which manage the majority of the state's roads. 3 of Tasmania's sporting titans have teamed up to launch a new business enterprise. Nick Rewalt, George Bailey and Tim Payne today launching their BodyFit training studio, hoping to get Tasmanians moving with the gym's personalised training sessions.
Well over 200 members already, which is awesome. We're going to build this fantastic community, like-minded people who are going to get really fit, have a lot of fun doing it.
Being Tasmanian, obviously live on the mainland. The opportunity to get involved in something back home was really important to me, and so the guys, extended the opportunity to get involved.
The Hobart site is the first of 8 planned for the state, with a Glenorchy location set to open in the coming months. Cricketing legend and owner of one of Tasmania's most famous moustaches, David Boon, is set to auction off his golfing abilities. He will be joining one team at his annual Common Ground Cup, with funds being raised for a Salvation Army program.
He's one of the best to ever strike a cricket ball. That's it. And lately, David Boon's been hitting the golf ball pretty well too.
I haven't been travelling too far, so the golf course has been getting a workout.
So well, he's decided to take the Common Ground Cup up a notch in 2021. Man and moustache to join one lucky team on May 28.
We've sort of changed what my role will be on the day, and I'm going to play so somebody can bid for that.
The annual fundraiser takes place on Australia's oldest 18-hole course, Ratho Farm Golf Links.
So to have another year, another opportunity for people to come along and support what we're doing here, fantastic.
The Salvation Army's Common Ground Cafe, the recipient of funds. It provides employment and training opportunities for disadvantaged people.
The chance to raise some additional funds and to expand our efforts here, yeah, that's what we're looking forward to.
You know, to be able to help consistently and yearly the guys here, especially after a COVID period where everyone had really difficult times, and we were looking to help that situation move on again.
Hinting that some other cricket stars might show up too.
The other little surprise, we might have a couple of guests that are a little bit younger than me that played the same game.
Bidding for Boonie is open for the next 30 days at Ratho Farm's website. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Mark Winterbottom has returned to his happy hunting ground at Symons Plains, reflecting on his history-making drive in 2019 when he claimed Team 18's first pole position. Now he's looking to extend an extraordinary record at the track. Valued at around 350 grand, this limited edition V8 Commodore is worth nearly as much as a supercar itself. The only thing rarer on the track today, Mark Winterbottom's incredible stretch at Symons Plains. He's managed to start and finish his last 40 championship races here.
I love this place, it's good for me for results, so selfishly I want to come back here all the time.
His last visit in 2019 heralded a history-making pole with Team 18, the new Holden Outfits first.
It's funny, you know, I remember going around the track, getting pole, and they all got that excited in the garage, they forgot to tell me to pit, so I did another lap.
Winterbottom's in form, coming off a top 5 finish at Sandown. Not even the chopping and changing schedule is deterring Frosty.
This year is an absolute breeze compared to last year, but it's important if the spectators haven't had cancellations on tickets, that's the main thing.
Numbers will be down. COVID rules mean around 20,000 fans will attend over next weekend, down from the usual 50,000. But those heading along will see the stadium super trucks make a mark at Symons Plains for the first time.
They're V8 and they hit the jumps, so they actually get quite a way in the air, and they're absolutely spectacular to watch.
Well, she came to Tasmania to play for Smithton. Now 28-year-old American Deasia Chambers has signed with the Launceston Tornadoes. Although the guard is more familiar with the Northwest Basketball Union, she hopes to hit the ground running as a versatile player for the Tawns in her first crack at NBL 1.
I think I fit in pretty well. You know, I bring a little bit of spiciness, so I think that's good.
Chambers has previously played in Europe and aspires to be in the WNBL. And Tassie's Chris Symons has claimed 2 titles at the National Para Sailing Championships. He landed both the Open and Para titles in the 1- and 2-person divisions, the latter with Manuel Klinger in the Hansa 303 class. Light winds reduced the time sailors spent on the water during the titles, which were held in WA. A great result there, Kim.
Good evening. Bushy Park, our top with 25 today, 7 degrees above average. Hobart 21, Launceston 23, Burnie and Devonport 19. Now, after areas of valley fog, it was fine and mostly sunny across the state. Grove 24, Flinders Island, Friendly Beaches 23, Lyoweeney 22, King Island 21, Smithton and Lowhead 20 and Strawn Reach 19. A few small patches of cloud over the north and west, but not much to speak of, but we're speaking of it anyway. Meanwhile, high cloud streamed over from WA to a tropical low off the coast. Isolated thunderstorms hover over eastern Victoria and New South Wales. Patchy cloud further north. Tomorrow, a cold front brings a halt to our Indian summer. A low forms off the New South Wales-Queensland border. A couple of troughs sit over the north and south of the continent. Winds around these parts should be north to northwesterly, just 5 to 15 knots over the north, but to 20 to 30 knots over remaining waters. Strong wind warning has been issued for waters between St Helens Point and Sandy Cape, and also for the southwest lakes. Tomorrow shapes up like this. Showers developing in Hobart, 23 the maximum. On the way to for Cygnet, 23 the top and 24 for New Norfolk. Launceston, a high of 22 with showers increasing. Showers 2 for Devonport, 19 the high and 22 for Campbelltown. Showers later in the day. 19 for Burnie, showers. Showers for Strawn, 21, same for Smithton. And for St Helens, a top tomorrow of 23 with a late shower. Showers increasing for Swansea, 24 the maximum, 23 for Fingal. On Friday, showers mostly contracting to the west and south during the morning, but getting windy for the weekend with showers across most regions. The north and east may miss the wet weather on Saturday. Similar weather forecast for Sunday, snow to 600 metres and hail possible for the west, central and south. It's all over. Partly cloudy in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow, a sunny 29 in Melbourne, a shower or two forecast for Sydney, partly cloudy and 29 in Brisbane. And clear conditions at the moment, 16 in Hobart and Devonport, currently 17 in Launceston. They're waving at me to finish, Kim, so that's good news for everyone.
It is. It's all over, as you say. Thanks very much, Merv, and that's all your midweek local news. Thanks for joining us this evening. On behalf of the entire team here at 7 Tasmania Nightly News, have a great night, and we'll see you again later. Good night.